What you're about to listen to is a rebroadcast of a show done in December of 2009, almost 10 years ago, on my show on Blog Talk. What was discussed is the issue of when commitment occurs in a relationship. When does a woman become officially a man's, quote, girlfriend? There's a couple of questions were asked. At what point do you become the official, and how do you get there? What are the rules for knowing when a guy is just stringing you along and when he really is trying to make a decision? What's really interesting is how many women would write my advice column not really knowing what the status was of a relationship, and they're sleeping with the guy. And I always thought that was rather amazing. I mean, isn't that something that you should have solid and, a decision made about before you ever get into the bed with him? So we also looked at, what does wife potential mean? If a guy's, in his 30s and he's looking for a woman with, quote, wife potential, what does that mean? And finally, what seals the deal? What motivates a man to move forward with a particular woman while he dodged and dipped out on others? So we look at all of those kind of things and try to figure out, answer the question, does it really take men 6 to 12 months to figure out if you're girlfriend material? I hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, once again, the number that I give out on this show, on this recording, pertained to the show in 2009. It no longer pertains to me. You could probably call it. I don't know who you get, but it won't be me. So don't call the number. Just enjoy the show. This is Deb Cooper. I'll see you later.
Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the aspect of dating where commitment begins. Once you become, quote, boyfriend / girlfriend. I'm using that term because I haven't really figured out a better one. It makes me feel like I'm 12 or something, you know what I mean? But, you don't want to, I've heard people say, oh, my lover. Okay, nobody cares about, that's TMI. And then you have some people say stuff like, oh, my partner. Well, I heard gay people say the same thing. So I don't know. I don't think I'm comfortable with that either. And then my man, my woman, I suppose that's okay, but it has a little ghetto tinge to it. So I don't really like that term either. So I don't know what to call it. But for tonight, we're going to call it boyfriend and girlfriend because that seems to be the most common term used for the type of relationship that I want to talk about when you're involved in dating and you're trying to have a little basic commitment to one person in particular. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this issue is because across my advice column, I get lots of letters from women that are confused. They're confused because they've been involved in a situation with a gentleman where they're having sex. They may be spending time with him, but they aren't sure how he feels about them, nor are they sure what's going on in the relationship. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading these letters and I'm wondering, okay, shouldn't this have been a conversation that you had before you ever laid down with this guy? I don't understand what they're thinking. But it seems like a lot of women feel if they have sex with a man that they somehow then become his girlfriend. And that is absolutely, positively not true. You need to have this discussion and have all that squared away before you ever lay down with them. And sure, a lot of guys are going to press for sex. They want sex. That does not mean that you have to give it to them. So that becomes your responsibility to wait until you're comfortable with the relationship before you make it physical. Now, I remember, we used to watch that show on TV called Happy Days. And, they did this stuff all in the 50s where the guy would give the girl his leather jacket and he would pin her or something. And so everyone would know that they were an item. What kind of thing do we have now that says that? I mean, I was talking to a lot of young couples and saying, okay, how did you guys get together? Was there a defining moment? Did you have a conversation? Most of them looked at me like I had three heads and like, what are you talking about? We just were together. But see, to me, that leaves things kind of ambiguous. I want to know. I want us to have a conversation. I want us to communicate about what we're doing, how we're going to conduct this relationship, what the responsibilities and obligations are, and expectations to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Why is it that so many people are afraid to do that? I don't understand. But they're sharing their bodies, money, time, and everything with people that they're afraid to talk to. I don't get that. So what I wanted to get from you guys tonight are a couple of things. From the gentlemen, when you move ahead in a relationship and you commit to a woman and you begin to refer to her as your girlfriend, what are the criteria for that? What is the job description? Let's use that term. And how do you decide that this woman should have that title? What does that mean? And for the ladies, the same thing. What makes you feel that you're a girlfriend? What kind of things do you feel that you're being expected to do, to say in order to achieve that kind of title and that level of attachment in a man's life? I'd like to get your take on it. The number to call in is 347-327-9215. That's 347-327-9215. Now, on AOL, I found a survey. Evidently, this was published earlier this year. They called it the Great Male Survey, which was conducted, it was conducted by AskMen.com, but I got the article on AOL. So, let's see. What they're saying is that 92% of men and women agree that if you want a sexy, passionate relationship, you have to be, I'm jumping ahead of myself. 77% of the men that took this survey look for girlfriends with wife potential. What does that mean? 69% of men would agree that they would never cheat on their partner. 61% of the men felt that the depiction of the male gender in commercials is not accurate. 60% of men are nostalgic for the days when a handshake in business meant something. 57% of men cook at home and enjoy doing it. And 56% of the men that responded to this survey said that being a good father or husband makes a man manly. I thought that was really interesting because it doesn't seem like that gets as much credit in a manhood world as it should. But let's go back to the top of this. 77% of men look for girlfriends with wife potential. What does wife potential mean? I would like some guys to call in and tell me your thoughts on that. The number is 347-327-9215. Press 1 on your keypad so that I know you want to be on the air. And I'd like to know, when you talk about a woman having wife potential, what are you looking for actually? And is that vary from age to age? Say like what a guy in college is going to be looking for concerning wife potential might be different from a man who was a widower and, who's in his 50s, for instance. He might be looking for something a little different, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, let me know. On to the other thing. Now, I found this other guy sent me an email that I was kind of looking at. It was very interesting. He uses a ranking scale to decide if a woman has girlfriend potential, and I thought I would share it with you because it's really interesting. He says he meets a girl, and he judges personality and looks, and the combined equation has to come out to 10. If the number is below 10, then he won't take her. And if the number is 10 or above, then he will. Now, he says if the woman comes out, if her total number is lower than a 5, she's immediately disqualified right away because he says he doesn't want a 400-pound woman, nor does he want someone who's, selfishly into herself. So to him, the value of her personality and the value of her looks can be ranked anywhere from a 1 to a 10. And I thought that was pretty amazing because he's doing this based on, he doesn't really know these people. He just met them. So or saw the girl, maybe exchanged a couple of sentences. So he's basing this on her looks and her immediate presentation. So that thing where they say you have 1 minute or 2 minutes, whatever the phrase is, to make a good impression. In this guy's case, it was absolutely positively true. So, let's see. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then I ran into this other article that was on men's health. 9 ways to be the perfect girlfriend, it says. And so they came up, they surveyed, I think it's 150 different guys, and they came out with a list of the things that these men felt were qualities of a perfect girlfriend. Number 1, laugh with us and at us. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So humor was obviously a very important trait that men were looking for because and I could see that because I like a guy who can make me laugh as well. And humor, if you have someone who can find a humor even in stressful situations, it tends to diffuse a lot of things and you don't have as many arguments and disagreements. And sometimes the things that you would just send you over the top, you end up collapsing in laughter. And I remember my dad did that one time. My parents were getting at each other about something. And my dad looked at my mother. He said, you know what? You are just like a knife in my ass. And he made this stabbing motion and lifted his leg up and then acted like he was falling on the floor and just went through this whole big thing. We thought it was hilarious. And even she had to laugh because it was so dramatic and silly for this grown man to be flipping around on the floor like he, had a knife in his butt. So we thought that was pretty hilarious. And whatever they were arguing about, it immediately, the argument stopped right there on the spot. So I can understand the desire to have someone who can alleviate tension with a smile and a joke. The second thing on their list is that these guys wanted a woman who could take her affection outside. Now, I thought that was very interesting too because most guys women, are the ones that complain that men aren't affectionate outside of bed. There's not much in the way of hand holding, spontaneous kisses, luxurious back or foot rubs where you just play footsie and this kind of thing. Just physical touching. A lot of guys seem to shy away from that and women complain about it all the time. So to see this on a list of traits that men are looking for was kind of surprising to me. Everybody's so quiet. Okay. Gotcha. Let me type something in the chat room. Hello, everyone. If you have a question that you're too shy to call on the phone, feel free to type it in the chat room, and I'll read it on the air myself. Because what I want to talk about is what traits you feel qualify a woman to be your girlfriend. This is for guys. Ladies, when do you feel that your relationship with a guy should advance to boyfriend-girlfriend level? What are you looking for? Is this like 1 week, 10 dates, 3 months, 6 months? What is your ballpark figure? And what does being a girlfriend mean to you? So many women want to know where this relationship is going. What are we doing? What's happening? And it seems to cause a lot of anxiety in females. So it would be nice to know what the general standards might be from the ladies. Okay. Caller, 843 area code. Your mic's open.
Hey, I'm T. Biddy 3000 in the chat room. How's it going?
Hey, what's happening? What do you think about
right.
this girlfriend subject?
Well, in my opinion, I feel like, one, it doesn't take a man that long to know he wants to make a woman his girlfriend. It doesn't take that long at all.
See, I agree with you.
Yeah, because if you want to get you, it will get you. Because too many women, my sisters, try to make these men commit to them, and these men talking about, I don't know, I get my money right and all that. He is stringing you along. But What qualities I look for, a woman has to be emotionally available. Meaning that, hey, whatever that dude did to you, whatever he did to him, whatever, hey, you got to check that in the past because plenty of guys will still sleep with her, but they won't be with her.
Mm-hmm.
And that, because it's not fair to me. Two, I want a woman that, should I say this, is a lady. I don't do women that drink all the time. Like drink like a fish, smell like a wine barrel. I don't do women that when you look on a party website, they in every single picture. You know, I don't do those types, you know, and it's just, see, they sound too picky for that. But I like a woman that's, you know, also not afraid to be with me, not afraid to give it a shot. I like women that's funny, that can talk about things besides the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like stuff like that.
So she got to have some conversation.
Yeah, it's conversation because I'm going to start like that first impression. The brother had it right, the one email he read it from. Because women got to face it. We are going to come to you because your looks, because no man has ever said, hey, I noticed your personality. You don't know your personality, you ain't say nothing. So your looks will get you in the door, but it's the personality, emotional availability, all that stuff like that will seal the deal. And that's what it is. Because, hey, we're all visual. We're all shallow. Let's just get it out the way.
Wow.
We like what we like.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. Now, you admitted that it doesn't take men that long. How long would you say it would take a guy to decide that he wants a woman to be his girlfriend? That's part one of the question. Part two is, how do you present that to her?
Well, me, I'm almost 30. I'm old. But I look at it this way. With me, I feel like that it shouldn't take me more than a month. It shouldn't. I'm talking to you, I'm spending time with you. To get to know you, it doesn't take that long. And what was the second question again? I'm sorry.
Then, okay, so if you decide that you want her to be your girlfriend, how do you, bring up the subject?
I just tell her I want her to be. And if she doesn't want it, I find somebody else that will. Because I feel like that, hey, I'm being serious with you. I'm trying, lock this down because I'm going to be honest. I'm not too keen on my woman possibly sleep with someone else because I dropped the ball and wanted to snooze.
Okay.
I'm just honest.
So at this point in your life, you're looking for a woman that, like this guy said, that has wife potential?
Yes, of course, because we can find any hot chick that you can sleep with and all that, but when I find me a hot chick that I can also bring home to my family, hang out with your friends, not put up a stink, stuff like that.
Okay. And as far as you, say that the relationship starts not working out, how much energy do you put into trying to save it if you guys are boyfriend and girlfriend?
It depends what it is. But I forgot one quality I had to say. Can I go back to that right quick?
Uh-huh.
It's that I cannot stand, I will not take a woman seriously if all she has to offer me is sex. I know you're hot, you got a nice body and all that. Yes, I've been there, done that with a lot of women. I'm just saying. So that ain't going to impress me. So I feel like you got to have something else to offer me. But onto your question, I'm make sure I didn't forget for your next question. It depends on what it is. Because a lot of things, but see, I feel like my sister told me this. And she's married and stuff. She told me that a lot of people run too quickly over the smallest things. A lot of times that we should just talk. A lot of things worked out by talking.
Well, I think a lot of people are commitment phobic in the first place. And so, there's a lot of these casual relationships that are basically based on sex. There's not a lot of people making, not a lot of guys that want women to be their girlfriends, not a lot of women that are really looking for, a boyfriend until they get a little older. And I just see a lot of this, what do they call it, hooking up stuff going on. And I don't like that.
Yeah. And I tell a lot of women, friends of mine, my female friends of mine, is that you gotta watch yourself so you might be put the jump off category. And that, like I said before, that guy wants you. A lot of guys can wait for sex. That's a big misconception about men. that man wants you, he'll wait. And I feel like a lot of women that if they throw that sex out there, that's how they get caught up. Because let's be honest, they can't get dogged out. You don't sleep with them. You know, because late emotions get tied up, and next thing you know, they're giving them $5,000, and they on Judge Joe Brown trying to get it back. You know.
Oh boy. Well, you have a point there. You have a point.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So I feel like don't sleep with these guys waiting on potential. The guy wants to be with you. You know he wants to be with you. Not the type of guy that's stammering around talking about, hey, I got to get my money right first and all that. You know.
Well, you know, a lot of them will say stuff like, well, you know, I like hanging out with you. You know, let's just see where it goes. You know, I'm not trying what is the phrase? I'm trying to think of some of the lines I've heard. Or, you know, I'm just don't really feel like I'm ready to be in a relationship. You know, why are you trying to press me? Why can't we just see where it goes? And all this kind of stuff. And this might go on for 6-8 months, a year.
Put it like this. She'll be my jump off for that year where I'm trying to find that woman that I could commit to. That's all she is, a jump off. But then a lot of women, my experiences, because I dated one like that. You know, I felt her trying, you know, ready to make that move with my girl or whatever. But she told me she only saw me as sex. Hate to tell her this, hate to do this to her, but hey, the date stopped. It'll just come by the house.
Oh, wow.
You know? Because I'm not going to treat a jump off the same way I would treat a woman I want to commit to. Sorry,
right.
It's not going to happen. Because so my thing is that these women come out, they ain't ready. Guess what? You become jump off and don't get mad when you see this guy with another woman.
Well, what I've heard is more the men saying that to the women. You know, the guy said that, and the woman stays with him hoping, you know, she's hoping that she can prove that she's going to be good enough to be this girlfriend. But judging by what you just said, where a guy knows that pretty quickly, then she should just, like, cut her losses and move on.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Has that ever worked?
That's what I'm aware of.
So why do they keep doing it?
I have no idea.
These people, I be telling some of my friends this. If the guy doesn't want you from jump, come my sister, her husband, he proposed to her in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I always said, these guys ain't going to wait around. They want you. So if this guy is stringing you along, it may be something about you, whatever. Not saying that woman's a bad person. There's something about them. That guy may make them like that, but I ain't gonna, before you're going, there are some guys that just scum and just don't care. I'm going to be honest about that, but a lot of women know this man ain't with them. And they got to remember, these guys that have sex with exotic women, threesomes, whatever, your stuff ain't that good to make a man change his mind. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. And you don't want sex to change the man's mind anyway.
Yeah, because it's going to always be something new, different, and better out there.
Yeah, and why put that energy to try to change his mind when you got a guy out there that probably feeling you have to go through all that?
Well, you know, what you're saying is exactly the truth, and that's why this show is being discussed, and I appreciate your honesty and openness. Thank you very much. Hopefully, you know, the ladies that need to hear this will hear it and kind of get a little understanding how they need to conduct themselves with these guys. So, you know, basically what you're saying is if you know, a month of that is plenty. He'll know by then.
Yeah, it's true. And like I said before I go, if he talking about I got going with the flow and all that, or my favorite, I tell my friends this. If he doesn't really want to take you out, but go by the house, off from jump, he just wants to jump off. Not saying he's wrong with what he feels, but you don't have to give it to him.
Right.
So if you want a commitment, you know, kind of eliminate sex from the jump. And I feel like that alleviates a lot of problems.
Well, there you go. Thank you. Very wise for a young man who's only 30 years old.
31 actually, but hey, I can't allow my age, you know.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, Steve, sweetie, thank you for calling.
All right.
Okay, everyone. So, you know, he was being really open and very honest about how young men make their partner selections, and I appreciate that. One thing we need to talk about is the phone thing. Let's talk about the phone. Because a lot of women feel that if a guy is calling and texting them regularly, it means he's interested in her being his girlfriend. That is flatly not true. Now, he can be talking to you because he might like you and, be like investigating a little further to see what kind of person you are. But that doesn't mean that he wants to, put you in lockdown and put himself in lockdown. He just means that he's investigating the possibilities. So there are women who were, usually young ones though, not more mature women, young women who mistakenly see these telephone contacts as meaningful. And they're not, because, you can send a text. The same text can go out, saying, hey, baby, good morning, to 10 women at the same time. It doesn't mean anything special, especially if it doesn't even have your name in it. It's just, hey, baby, sweet cheeks, darling, sweetie, boo, all this kind of stuff. That's meaningless drivel. That doesn't mean anything at all. And then they try to do what I call date by phone. So, they'll call you. You haven't seen dude in 2 or 3 weeks. But you want to call him your boyfriend? No. Get a clue. And, he calls you late at night and he, talks some old inappropriately sexual conversation and you all mixed up, caught up in the mix and all like, telling them all this stuff and, acting like it means something. Again, you are not his girlfriend. That is not your boyfriend. You guys have no commitment. You haven't even seen dude for 2 or 3 weeks. You haven't been anywhere. There's no relationship, ladies. There's no relationship. There's nothing for you to feel like if you went out with someone else or talked to someone else, you would be cheating on him. There's so many misconceptions that young women have about their association with guys and what commitment means and how it is approached that is just shocking to me. Now, this guy that just was on the phone, T. Smitty in the chat room, he said that when he's ready for a woman to be, girlfriend to him, he talks about it. And I like that approach. I don't like that assumption stuff because there are some women who, they're just spending time with the guy. He's sleeping over 2 or 3 nights a week and all this. And she says, well, I thought that he was my boyfriend. And, this is our first anniversary. We're about to have our first anniversary. And guy is looking at her like, what are you talking about? We're not a couple. And she doesn't get it. We said, but, we've been spending all this time together. You've been, doing all this. You're over here all the time. But he's like, well, so? But you let that happen, ladies. You let that situation become that way. So, in many instances, it seems like for women, it really would be best if, sex was taken off the table until you had a really clear understanding of the boundaries and parameters of the relationship that you have with this guy. So, that is the very important, part of this conversation. So, and this is another aspect too. Women say stuff like, well, I call him and then someone else will call him on the phone and he'll say, oh, I need to take this call. Let me call you back. And he never calls back. That is a sign. Stop calling him. Do not ever call him again. Have some pride about yourself. Why are you groveling for this man to pay attention to you? I get letters like that in my advice column all the time. It just makes me wish they had some kind of way, some button I could press that would reach to the computer, just slap the crap out of people and say, stop being stupid, and then, go back in. But until someone invents that, I just have to do it verbally. Now, let's see. Some women feel like they are a good girlfriend if they tell him how much they love him and let him know that they will do anything for him. I do anything for him. I want to show him that I care. And I wonder, what is that all about? Do you think men appreciate hearing that? What if a woman comes to you guys and says, I will do anything for you, and she's constantly saying, I love you, and you're not saying it back, how do you feel about that woman? Would that stay your girlfriend for long if she were, or if she were not, would you make her your girlfriend? How would you feel about that? I want to know. Secondly, another thing that makes guys kind of back away from you is when you act silly, all giggly and retarded. Now, this is not something that mature women tend to do that much, but, I deal with a lot of girls in their late teens and early 20s, high school and college age females, and I never know who's going to actually listen to to these podcasts, so I kind of try to cover all the age groups. So young women, you're 17, 18, 19, 21 years old. Okay, conduct yourself maturely, please. You know, you're dealing with a guy who you want to have someone that you can associate with, and you can go, he can bring you around his parents and his siblings and not be embarrassed about how you act. Likewise, you want to be able to do the same with him. You know, this giggly, goofy behavior like you're 12, you know, and you're 19 or 20, that is so inappropriate. Likewise, the girls who want to just be the center of attention all the time, you know, they pose and do all this flirty stuff in front of their boyfriends, you know, with other guys and stuff, you know, inappropriate behavior. That is sure to get you dumped and make the guy not feel real solid about your relationship. And when men don't feel confident that you won't cheat on them and that you are there and that you're committed to him, that is a relationship that will soon go up in smoke. That kind of loyalty is one of the top things that men need in their woman. And if you're flirting with other guys and acting a fool, and he never feels confident about where you stand and whose team you're on, that is a relationship that's not going to work. I can flatly tell you that. So anyone have a comment you'd like to make on the air? We got about 30 minutes left in the show. The number is 347-327-9215. That's 347-327-9215. Press 1 on your keypad. I'd be very interested in hearing what you have to say about what makes you choose a woman for your girlfriend. What does being a girlfriend mean to you ladies? Because women are, you know, jockeying for that position, but what does that really mean? See, to me, conversation I always want to have when a guy starts bringing up that, you know, well, we should make this mean something, we should do this, we should do that. I want to ask him and be very clear on what his expectations are of me. Because even though I might really like him, he might want something that I already know I can't give him. And it's unfair to get yourself involved in a relationship with someone that has expectations of you that you already know you can't meet. You know, and that's just not cool. I would never do that to someone, and I would hope no one would do that to me. So I would like to have a very open and honest conversation with any gentleman interested in a commitment with me and ask him, you know, what is it that you want? When you talk about your woman, what is it that you envision? I need to know what it is that you expect of me, and then I can let you know if I can provide that for you or not. And I'm very open and honest about it because, you know, there's some things I'm just not going to do. I'm just not going to be. And, you know, if that's really that critical to you, then I'm the wrong woman for you, no matter how much you might like me. Okay, caller 215, your mic is open. What's your question or comment?
Good evening, Deborrah. How you doing?
Hey, darling. What's going on?
Oh, not much. Really good show. I'm liking it. And T. Smitty was on point.
Wasn't he?
Yes, he was. I initially told myself I was just going to listen, but I'm like, hey, this is some good convo. You know, and we're all agreeing.
Oh,
and
good.
I just wanted to, I wanted to say, like he said, early on, a man knows if he wants to make a woman his girlfriend. Now, if a man says, you know, he wants to wait to get his money right and stuff before he gets married in order to be ready for those implied responsibilities, that's something. But as far as committing, you know, as a girlfriend, I mean, a few dates, you kind of already know there's someone you want to get to know better and you want to be exclusive. And now during the process when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, as you're moving towards marriage, that's when you want to learn more about the person and see if you can spend your life with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just like, you know, as soon as you see someone, you know whether or not you'd want to have sex with them. After you've talked to them, a few conversations, you know whether or not you'd want to see them on a more regular, exclusive basis. Marriage takes a little longer.
Yeah.
So,
No, I agree. But see, we're just talking about girlfriend point at this point.
Well, to your other question as to how does a guy go about it once he decides he wants a girl to be his girlfriend? Well, a man who has the testicular fortitude to be mode one, as Alan Roger Curry would say, upfront, straightforward, he'll tell a woman that, you know, hey, I've been enjoying the time we've been spending together, and I want, you know, this to be exclusive, I want to get to spend more time with you, or something along those lines, rather than make an assumption. Now, one thing I would say, if a man says, oh, let's just see how it goes, I say, look, go ahead with that if and only if there is no sex involved.
Right.
Once you guys have had sex and he says, let's just see how it goes, yeah, in all likelihood, it's just jump off. But if you have not had sex and you're getting to know one another, then yeah. Because, again, like T. Smitty said, the first thing we notice about you is your body. We notice the perky breast, the nice firm buttocks, the nice legs and all that stuff. And then some guys just want to hit it, and other men are like, okay, let me see what's behind the big butt and the smile. I'm the kind of guy, I like to see what else is beyond the good looks. Some guys just want to hit it.
Wow. Well, that's honest.
You sound surprised. Come on, Debo. How long have you been locking horns? You know that about me.
I know, but I'm done with the horn locking with you. I'm going into 2010 with a new attitude.
Yeah, I'm all for that. You know, if I had a glass of Cavassier, you know, we could have a toast.
I'm trying to tell you. We'll do like the online little drink thing on Facebook. Send people a drink. I'll send you a toast to champagne. We can toast on it.
Hey. Well, I'm surprised. Are there no ladies on the line willing to?
Well, I don't know. Let me see. Let me take this caller. This is caller 200 area code. Your mic is open. What's your question or comment? Hello.
Chirp, chirp, cricket, cricket, chirp, chirp.
Okay, your mic is open. Caller 200. Well, they have their little hand up, but they're not saying anything. So I'll just put that person back on hold. So Don, what do you think though about the concept that T. Smitty was saying that it should only take about a month? Do you think that is about right? Are you in agreement with that time frame?
As far as boyfriend girlfriend, yeah, because boyfriend girlfriend, that just means that you're only seeing one another. You're not seeing other people. You don't need more than that time to determine if you want to see someone exclusive. But that doesn't mean that, because when you're seeing someone exclusive, your boyfriend, girlfriend, that doesn't mean you're locked in a contract for life, or like you got an AT&T phone that you got to stay in a contract for 2 years, otherwise you get some major penalties if you break it. No, it just means that while I'm seeing you, dating you, I'm not seeing anyone else and I'm not sexing anyone else.
Okay. Okay. So, ladies, you know, I always said, this is really interesting because I always said a guy knows within 90 days. But you guys have cut my stuff down by 2/3. So I'm like, damn.
Well, yeah.
I'm giving guys a lot more slack.
Look, again, it all depends. If a man is relationship minded, yes. Now, to polarize our dear friend Purpose One, some people want to be fucked into monogamy. You know, I don't mean to make it a versus woman thing, but you have some women that they won't want to commit to a guy, but if the sex is good, then all of a sudden they'll try to put it on him to change his mind to make him get committed. Now that's an asinine way to go about it, I think. I think you should have in mind whether or not you want a commitment. If you do want a commitment, then your job is to check to see is that person you're talking to, that you're seeing on a semi-regular basis, is he worth it? You know, is he worth getting to know more? If yeah, then make it exclusive. If not, then, you know, cut your losses. You know, you had a good few dates together and, you know, shake hands and part ways. But that whole thing about giving them, using all your latest tricks in your sex repertoire and hoping that this will convince them to be faithful. Come on, ladies. That's not going to work. Just like having a baby is not going to keep a man. Giving him good sex, good oral sex, even if you swallow, that's not going to keep him. Oops, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't talk like that. This is a G-rated show.
Okay, ladies.
200, your mic is open. Are
What's
you
that?
there? Okay, is this 200?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay, your mic is open. We've got you this time.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what flashed up. Usually 111 flashes up. But 200, I guess that's me.
Okay.
But,
that sounds like player hater.
Yeah, this is me. What's happening, Don?
Hey, what up, bro? This is Don Calypso. Good to hear you, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's up, hater?
Yeah, hey, how you doing? I want to appreciate all your comments on my show, Miss Harvey. You really,
yeah, you really pass along some knowledge, and I appreciate that. So I thought the least I could do is call your show and bring along some hate.
Well, we love your style of hate, so you just hate away.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to comment what you were talking about earlier as far as the women who would do anything for men.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked about that before, and needless to say, it's a big mistake in my opinion for any woman who would do anything for a man, because I even brought it up last week when I mentioned that women who do stuff like that, all they become to those men is what they do for them. They become extra chicks. I mean, you're never going to be the main chick. You're not going to be his chick. You're just going to be some chick that he uses to get whatever you're willing to give him for your affection, and that's about it. I mean, he may say that you're going to be his girlfriend or his woman, but you're never going to be his main girl, ever.
Wow. Well, what do you think about this? I was looking at this book, and this guy was saying that men's gut reactions fall into 4 basic categories, which spring from 4 special psychological needs that all men share. If not met, each of these needs prompts your man to feel threatened in particular ways, which basically means he won't want to commit. He says all men have, number 1, the need to be special. Number 2, the need to travel light. Number 3, the need for loyalty. And number 4, the need to be close emotionally. How do you rate those 4 qualities that he set out?
Well, needless to say, I'm a different guy. So, I mean, as far as feeling special, I don't need a woman to make me feel special because just like you said on my show, you love yourself. I love myself. I already know I'm special. So no woman needs to make me feel special because that part is already secure.
Okay.
And as far as the other ones, I don't know. I repeat the last 3 for me, actually.
The need to travel light, which I assume means, that he doesn't want to be bogged down with demands about, reporting in every second and, all this stuff. The need for loyalty, which I actually talked about that at the top of the show, and the need to be close emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an issue with those last 3. Because when I'm building a relationship, of course, I'm looking for loyalty. I'm going to travel light, which means no baggage, and I'm not checking in and all that stuff. I almost cursed, but I heard you mention it was a G-rated show, so I try to refrain from cursing. And the last one was, loyalty, traveling light, and
to be close emotionally. Be close emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that comes natural. If you're building a relationship, you want all of those things, except for the special part. I don't want the special part, but I mean, the last 3, yeah, I mean, I want those if it's a woman I'm looking to build a relationship with, of course.
Okay. What about you, Don? What do you say? Did he go away?
No, I didn't go away. I'm sorry. I had to mute my phone when I was unloading my car.
Okay.
I agree with Hader. The thing about being special, I agree with him. You don't need a woman to make you feel special, but I would think if it's someone you want to commit to, you'd have to be special to them, just like they're special to you.
Right.
You loving them doesn't make them special. It just means they're special in your eyes. I mean, why do you want to commit to someone if you're not special in their eyes? I mean, that's the only amendment I would put to what player here said. But otherwise, yeah. I mean, you don't want to be bogged down. You want to be with someone because you want to be with them and not because they're forcing you to clock in every 15 minutes or so.
Right. Now, you guys, since you guys are both on the phone, I have to ask you this one question that's something that kind of bugs me. As I see this a lot in relationships, the guy, they're in relationships, they're married, they're, living with the woman, they have a commitment of some sort. And the woman is looking for intimacy, not sexual, not physical. She wants him to talk to her. Let them have conversations. Like how we talk on Blog Talk. We talk about issues. We tell jokes. We interact with each other. Admittedly, it's over a phone or over a chat room. But, when I interact with the same people week after week, month after month, you build a rapport. You have some kind of intimacy with that person. And these are women who are living in the same household with these men, and they don't have it. The guys withhold information about how they feel. They don't.
Hey, you want me to handle that, or you want to take it first?
What's that?
I said, do you want me to take that one, or you want to take it first?
Oh, I wasn't sure if she was finished. I was going to wait for her to finish making her point.
My bad, people.
Well, yeah, but basically that pretty much sums it up. But what you have is women in a relationship that are feeling very lonely and closed off from their men. And so for him to say that these men are looking for emotional intimacy, I say I only see that in half the relationships. And I wanted to know from you guys, why would a man not want to be emotionally close to a woman that he is claimed as his?
Right. Well, I mean, just to reiterate what I already say a million times, I don't speak for other dudes because I can only speak for myself, because most guys, except for Don and a few others, don't really feel the way I feel about stuff. So with me, I want all that stuff. I want the intimacy, and I want all the honesty, and I want the loyalty, of course. I mean, I'm not going to build a BS relationship without those things, because anything without those things is a BS relationship. So if I'm entering into a relationship with a woman, then yeah, I want the intimacy, and I believe in communication. Obviously, I host a show, so I don't have a problem talking. So, I mean, I want all those things. If there's an issue with our relationship and I didn't bring it up or point it out, then I'm in a relationship with the type of woman that feels comfortable doing that. No woman that I'm in a relationship with is going to be afraid to talk to me. Some women are afraid to talk to their men for whatever reason. I mean, he may be the dominant one in the relationship, and she may feel threatened because he tells her she talks too much. She feels like just mentioning the fact they have issues in their relationship is going to upset him, so she may not choose to bring it up. I mean, I don't have those type relationships. I'm not into intimidating the women that I love, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, we're in a relationship where we both should feel free to communicate without feeling as though they're going to be attacked or told to shut up, or I'm not into that kind of stuff.
I'm so glad to hear that. But, some of them don't even attack the woman, but they just don't tell her stuff. Like, she'll ask him a question. She's just trying to know what he thinks, what he feels, what he wants. Eye roll.
But Ms. Heartbeat, let me tell you what that is, though. I mean, everything was set up from the beginning of that relationship. From the first day they met, I talk about key indicators all the time. If this brother's not opening up to you and you need someone who's going to open up to you, then you need to put that on the list of things that you don't like about him. Mm-hmm. And then just check things off as you go along. And if there are too many things on that list that you can't deal with, then you need to move on. It's just that simple. I'm easily annoyed and very dismissive. I'm not going to waste my time with somebody that I don't see a future with.
AKA, you are just mean.
No, he's just being upfront and straightforward.
Oh, you don't have to mess with him.
Hey, I agree with what he said. One thing is, as far as people say why men say they want emotional intimacy but don't communicate, it's because we communicate differently. Now, this is a gross overgeneralization I'm going to make that does not always apply all across the board. But generally, men and women, because we are hardwired differently, we're neurologically, hormonally, we're a bit different. What happens is a lot of times when guys talk, especially when guys talk with one another, generally, if I come to talk about a problem, I'm expecting you to give me some suggestions for a solution. Now, whether or not I apply them or not, that's one thing, but that's what I come to. What I've found out, and what is generally true, women, a lot of times, they may want someone to listen to them.
Right.
Just to listen, to acknowledge. And for us men, that is one of the most difficult things to do. Not all of us, but some of us, that's one of the most difficult things, because our natural inclination is to solve. What do you say, Player Hater?
No, I said I was just about to correct you because it ain't that hard. I mentioned during my show, I enjoy listening. I would sit back and listen, and even during my show, I do the least amount of talking. So, I mean, I'm one of those brothers who doesn't mind listening as long as what she's saying makes sense.
Well, for me, it's not that I don't want to listen. It's just that if somebody comes with a problem, I will listen, but then I process the information, trying to get a solution. A lot of times, some women just want men to listen and don't want a solution at all. And for some men, because
time, though. No, that's a waste of time.
Exactly. That's what I meant. Some women, they'll comment, they'll put everything to you, and then they expect you to bring a solution. And now men, on the other hand, sometimes, women want to just know how we feel, not just the problem solving. So one thing I think maybe would help for both sides would be if women would try to make an effort to, like, if they want to talk to him about their problem, be mindful that he's going to try to solve it. So, you know, at least invite him to help you find a solution. And for men to realize that sometimes don't jump to conclusion and try to make the effort as a man to just listen, just to validate her feelings.
Right.
No, however hard that may be.
I just say, okay, you know, I want to talk about this. I'm not looking for you to solve it. I just want to vent. And then he knows what his role is. And he just sits there and listens. But so I've already told him, so then if I say that and you...
Well, Heartbeat, you're being upfront and straightforward. If you tell him, I just need to hear me out, you know, and look for a solution, that's being upfront and straightforward. You may have the ovarian fortitude to do that, but unfortunately, not all your fellow ladies do.
But listening to you and knowing that that is what could be happening, a man who is aware would say, okay, I'm hearing you. Do you want me to just listen or do you want me my input? And then she, you know, open up the door to communicate. And, you know, I wasn't always like this. I used to not know that I needed to do that either. But it's something I gradually learned. And so when I wanted his input, I would ask for it. I'd say, oh, God, I had this problem. I need your help. Or, these people make me so sick. And I was just like, you know, just blow up and get it out. And then he'd give me a hug. And that's the end of it. That was his solution, the hug and the kiss. You know what I mean? Sometimes that's all you need. You don't need him to, you know, start telling you that you handled it wrong and you should have done this, you should have. That makes her feel worse. And that's when the woman will storm off and you won't get none and you will be sitting there trying to figure out what you did wrong. She's mad as hell at you because she already has a problem. And then instead of you listening and just comforting her, you told her where she was wrong and how she messed up and how she could have done it different and how she could have done it better and all that.
Time out. Hold on a second here. Objection, Your Honor. Now, when I'm talking about solution, I'm not talking about that, oh, you did this. No. No. When I say that we want to go to, no. Well, okay, some men, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who thinks like that. Player haters, not the only one who think like that. There is such a thing as, here's the problem. Well, maybe here's how we could go about fixing it. Maybe if we do this, then that, you know, not you did this wrong, but okay, well, here's where we are. Here's what happened. Here's how we can rectify the problem. Now, some women, if she feels that her feelings were validated, I'm pretty sure she'd be open to it.
Right.
I think the problem comes when somebody dismisses it. That's why I would never tell someone, oh, that's stupid. If somebody tells me they're afraid of something, that they're freaking out, I'd be like, okay, I understand you're freaking out and stuff. Here's what we can do about it. Not, as long as don't blow them off. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because you're the woman here.
Well,
yeah, but you don't treat women you don't treat people that you care about that way. Just, you know, blow them off and be dismissive with people that you care about. You do that with people that you don't respect or like very much. In my opinion.
Actually, some people are uncouth and don't know. Some people, even if they love someone, some people just don't have what I call, you know, you can have academic education, but there's also social education. Some people are highly educated scholastically, but very uneducated when it comes to social interaction.
They call it emotional intelligence. And there are some people that seriously, they're in relationships, but they have 0 to maybe 12 score on the emotional intelligence factor. So they are not able to empathize or like look at someone and see that the person's upset, hear a tone of voice and hear that the person is tense and nervous. You know, those are things that are skills, and people with those abilities are have wonderful communication abilities because they can get right to the heart of the matter. I take that for granted. But a lot of men don't.
Debo, it's not something that you're either born with it or not. It's something that it can be cultivated. And the fact that you just mentioned this, somebody who could be, you know, ranking along the emotional intelligence scale, they could take what you said, think back and realize, hey, you know, maybe I do need to pay more attention. So as long as you point that to someone, some people, they may need a little more coaching, a little more practice to get it. Now, if someone just say, oh, to hell with it, I'm just going to do whatever I want, take it or leave it, then we got a problem.
We do.
Well, I mean,
what you're doing right now is putting it,
isn't it?
Can you repeat what you said?
It's a compatibility issue, isn't it? I mean, not everybody, just like we talked about during my show, Ms. R.B., not everybody's meant for everybody, socially or sexually.
True.
I don't see that as a compatibility issue. That is a communication problem. Because if you respect
but I mean,
someone,
compatibility in the sense that And I mean, yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. It is a social issue, but I mean, as far as compatibility between those two people, if you're the type of person that likes someone who is communicative, who can talk and who will communicate, and that person isn't that, then is that the right person for you?
Oh, well, in that instance, no. But I was talking about what Don was just saying about the person coming along, and trying to learn how to communicate with their mate. So, I'm thinking it's just a matter of what a lot of men have is an attitude that anything a woman says is stupid and should not be listened to. You know what I mean? So it's like it doesn't matter what she says, he's not going to want to hear it. That shuts down communication immediately. She can never reach him. And that's some of the loneliest. I would not be with a man like that personally. I wouldn't care how fine he was or how much he claimed to love me. You tell me what I think is stupid, I'm done with you.
Wait. How the hell would someone like that even get to the point of having a girlfriend or a wife or a fiance or whatever?
Because they keep it under wraps till they get you. That's what they do. And then once they got you, then they start acting a fool.
Wait. You mean to tell me?
That doesn't just happen overnight, though. I don't think that just springs up overnight. I always think they're key indicators, man. People choose to ignore stuff. A brother doesn't just change like that overnight without you recognizing something.
Thank you. I was going to say, nobody is that good of an actor. I mean, shoot. I mean, even Denzel could have pulled that, and he's an Oscar winner.
I mean, people are quick to blame the other person, but you really need to acknowledge what fault you have in that. I mean, I don't believe in victims. I say it all the time. And you cannot, if you choose to ignore certain things, it's not that other person's fault. That's your fault because you're not acknowledging what's obviously in front of you. So, I mean, for you to say that man changed overnight, you're placing all the blame on him. You need to place some blame on yourself as well.
Well, I don't want to place blame on anyone. What I'm saying is, as a couple's relationship changes, and there's more demands on it. People have to change with the relationship. For instance, a couple is single, they're together, they're living apart. Okay, now they move in together. The relationship changes. You got to change with it. Then the couple get married, they have kids. Okay, the relationship has changed even more. One of them gets sick or gets cancer, injured on the job, can't work, the relationship changes again. So the fact is people can change overnight based on the stresses of that particular relationship, and some people don't respond well to change. And the person
they're
who
not very
changed
mature,
into
is what I
turns
would say.
into
They're
a fool.
immature.
Deborah, I'm going to put this in terms.
Life evolves. I mean, life and relationships evolve. People evolve. If a person isn't willing to accept change, or if they're not looking to evolve, then they are an immature person.
Deborah, let me put this in terms that only a closet Trekkie like you and me can understand. Not everybody's like the Borg. Not everybody's able to adapt. And unfortunately, sometimes resistance is not futile. And I think you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what it is. Some people are adaptable in that sense.
Let me get this call. This person's been holding for a while here. Caller from 323. Your mic is open.
Hi, how you doing?
Fine. What's going on?
Good. Great show, great comments. I love what the three of you guys are saying. It's some excellent comments. I just wanted to add on to, I guess because I was on for a minute, the subject has changed.
Yes, it has somewhat.
I wanted to just go back to the time that you mentioned for a man to realize if this is a person that he finds interest in with the young lady. And you mentioned that you said 3 months, and the gentleman who's talking, I always forget your name, and I really apologize.
Oh, I put their mics on mute while you talk, but I'll open their back up in a sec.
Okay. And then you said you had it for 3 months, and now he mentioned to a month. But I think that there is no time limit in knowing what you're really looking for. I think it determines an individual person. I think a person, if you know yourself very well, like an employer, then when you're interviewing for the things that you're actually looking for to see if you want to hire this person or not. So I think for the individual person, I can't speak for all men and say, I think it only takes men a month or it only takes men 3 months. I think just any living, breathing creature, any woman or man, it will take them as long as it will take them to find out what they're really looking for. And in order to know what they're really looking for, they have to know self, and they have to really know what they're really looking for. And through conversation, they may discover in 1 hour that this is not the person I'm looking for, just based on what that person is saying. Like a reporter will ask you a question. A good reporter will ask you a question and let you just talk on. And you may say something that you discover that this is not the person for me. Now, if you don't ask a question or ask a right question, you may discover it 3 months from now, or you may discover it a month from now. But I think it just determines on how you interview your partner, the person that you find interest in. If it may take 2 days, just so you don't come across as, reading the list of asking questions, right? So you get so much information today, and you go out on a date tomorrow, or you talk on the phone tomorrow, and you may discover something that you're just not with. I remember you saying something, and you said, if a guy says this, oh, I'm not with it, that's it, no way in the world. Well, you may discover that in 1 day, right?
And that has happened. I am the 1 day queen. I have my criteria are very solid. That's
right. You may discover it in 1 day. And I remember Steve Harvey saying, I have his book. I haven't read his book yet because I'm writing the book and I don't want to say anything close to his. But I've heard him on TV shows, and I've heard other people mentioning on shows about the 90-day rule for giving up the cookie, right? And that's the same thing. I mean, if you discover something in 1 day, why would you wait for 90 days to see anything different, right? Because you may discover even less interest in that person in 1 week and realize that you're not going to give up that cookie. I don't think 90 days, I don't think it should be a time limit. I think it should be when you discover what you are looking for. It doesn't take that long for an employer when he's interviewing. He or she knows what they're looking for. So they get the interviews. They're going to interview about 20 people in 1 day or 20 people within that week. But you will know or determine if a person at least has the potential to meet your requirements, your needs.
Well, I say 90 days because what I feel like, people send their representative in the early part of the relationship. And I don't know, I want to be able to see someone in many different circumstances and light. And with my busy schedule, most other people have a busy schedule. It's not like we're going to be together every day. I don't have time to talk on the phone with you for hours every night to discover who you are. I can't do that. So I'm going to stretch out my getting to know you over a period of a couple of months. And usually that takes, about 3 months for people to, put their representative back in the closet and for you to really be able to see who and what they really are. And that's why I say about 3 months, because I think sometimes, even though I think guys can, like T. Smitty said, make a decision in 30 days, I think a lot of guys are making it on the enchantment factor, not really on who that woman is, but who they imagine her to be.
Yeah, but I it's something that I call sort, screen, and test. And when you sort the friends that you have, several friends that you have, and you screen you decide to pick that one person, and you screen that person, And what that person says, you test that person. And for instance, someone's telling you because they're telling you something that you want to hear. Yeah, I love tennis because, I know she loves tennis. So I'm telling her I love tennis. Test it. Take him to a tennis match. You know how long a tennis match lasts? For hours. So I think sometimes you could test these things and it could decrease some of that time that you have, and asking the right questions. I think asking, because yes, people are going to come to you at their best, and they're going to come to you at a fake best too as well, and that's when we have to test it. So, because, we just don't have all day in our lives, especially when we become older, and I think it's just asking the right questions. But another thing too that I teach that I found has also decreased that 3 months, let's just say the 3 month time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is learning body language. When you ask a question, watch the body language when the person is answering. Learning body language, because we do speak 70-30, what some people say 70-30, 90-10. It is so scary when you learn body language and you ask a question and you actually see that person respond verbally and then respond non-verbally in two different ways. And it is so rewarding, but yet scary when you actually see that person lying to you, right?
Ooh, ouch.
Yes.
Let me bring these other two guys back on.
Okay.
Do you guys have any comments about the stuff he's been saying? Don?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have any comments about what he just was saying?
Yeah, I'll let Don go ahead and then I'll chime in. Uh-huh.
No, I was going to say, first of all, I realize this is Rael Sims, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Hey, good to hear you, Rael.
Hey, what's happening?
It's going good. As far as body language is involved, yes, that is very, very important. And if you do get to spend time with a person face to face, that would cut down that whole time to determine whether or not you want to, how long before you decide you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend, because just what somebody says, just the words, like text, that would be about 10% of the whole meaning of a conversation. Their tone of voice, their inflection, that's another 40%, but a big 50% is their nonverbal expression, their body language, facial expression, the way they raise their eyebrows when they look at you. And yeah, that stuff is very important. And you don't have all day to be chit-chatting on the phone. Uh-huh. And like Rael said, when you deal with a person face to face, you can put a lot of what they say to the test to see, can you trust them or not.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'll go along with the program for now. And I want to hear what Player Hater has to say.
Well, as a brother who moves slowly when building relationships, I don't believe in any set rules as far as waiting 2 months, 90 days, whatever. I don't believe in any of that because I'm a good judge of character and I'm very perceptive. So I know when I meet a woman right away if she has anything that I'm interested in building a relationship with. I know that right away. So, as far as 90 days and 60 days, it may take that long for me to get to know her fully, or at least to the point where I feel comfortable. But I don't set any rules or guidelines saying I'm not going to do anything until this amount of time. No, if I feel the connection, because I'm all about being natural. I don't put on airs when I meet a woman. I'm never phony. I'm just me all the time. I'm not trying to impress. I say it all the time. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm me. Why should I try to impress you now, and then 3 months from now you find out the real me and I'm not the guy that you thought I was, and all this other BS. I'm not into all of that. I'm going to let you see the real me from day one, and I want to see the real you also. That way I can decide if I want to proceed with this relationship or whatever, because we may end up just being friends. I don't believe that every woman I meet is going to be my future wife or girlfriend. She just may be my friend, and I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to have sex with everything that moves.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And we love you for that. Okay, I'm going to bring T. Smitty, but make his mic back live, too. Smitty?
Yeah. Did you get my sponsor like I asked?
No. A little quick on this. Little quick, brother. Can a sister have 24 hours?
Wow. Man, that is quick for me. Because I'm like you. I'm a very busy person. So, you know, I may not be having time to talk like that or may do things like that. Plus, I work nights. So I may not have time to see her. So a day would be real quick for me. But if it works for that person, so be. I see where he's coming from, though. I really do. I understand where he's coming from. It may work for some people. It may not.
Right.
Okay, you guys. Well, you made some interesting comments there, Rael.
Oh yeah, and player too. And once again, I'm always forgetting your name, man. Please forgive me.
Don Calypso.
Yes,
Don Calypso.
Don Calypso.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah. I'm the one who said you're Alan Roger Curry's clone because you guys look alike.
right.
You're an example of convergent evolution.
Right. Yeah, but you guys made some really good points, though, and yeah, just like Player said too. You know, it's all about knowing self, and I've sat down and I've talked to many women before, and it's just times like, you know, you listen to them and it's like, wow, wow, she's so pretty, but yet this is, you know, yeah, I can get to know you and get to know more of you, but I do know 3 things that you already said that I just wouldn't want to be with that type of person. You know, that's just not me. I wouldn't want to, as women always say, I wouldn't want to compromise.
Well, that's important. You got to know what kind of things you can adjust on. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And we're talking about major things. We're not talking about little minor things. You know, we're talking about major things that is a non-negotiable requirement for you, right? You know, a deal breaker for you. If you happen to hear 3 deal breakers in a row, right, just in a conversation, I mean, why continue the relationship as far as an intimate relationship? I would continue the relationship as a friend, but I would also have to, as a responsible human being, by letting them know that it's not going to go any further, you know.
And that's honest. A lot of, you know, people will play games that way.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, if we could just have more people willing to be honest and just say, you know, you're a cool person, but this is as far as this is going to go. I just, you know, not really interested.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think the people who are interested, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think the people who are honestly interested in building something, like a relationship, they would say stuff like the brother just said, because I would say that. But, I mean, I think the people who are just looking to have some quick sex would let it ride until they get the sex and then choose to ignore the person afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put a call out. I would like to get some ladies on this line. The ladies have been very quiet tonight. The number is 347-327-9215, ladies. We got about 20 minutes left on the show, and I'd like to get some female input on the girlfriend issue. 347-327-9215. Press 1 on your keypad so the little hand will shoot up, and I know you want to be taken on the air. So we're having like a testosterone overload here.
And, you know, I like to say this one thing, too. If you are a woman and you are going by the 90-day rule before you give up your cookie, please don't tell that guy that that's what you're doing. Or don't even mention the book. Don't even mention Steve Harvey.
Ooh,
yes. That guy will go through those 90 days. He'll be like, oh, okay. All right, so she's doing the 90-day thing. Cool.
I mean, not just that, though, too. I mean, not just that, but I mean, if a woman were to tell me something like that, I would look at it as a game, and I don't play games. I'm like, why are you doing this 90-day BS? I mean, it's a game as far as I'm concerned, because if you like somebody, you know right away. So you telling me that you don't do anything until after 90 days is a game to me. So that's already strike one. I'm probably losing interest in her at this point. So I'm like, it's a waste of my time.
I got another thing to add about the 90 days. When she says she waits 90 days, she's saying she waits 90 days for you, but in the meantime, maybe Pookie, Dayquil, Duracell's getting some, and I'm sorry, I don't fly like that. I mean, if we're going to wait and not have sex, I'm not going to be having sex with someone else. If I'm trying to get to know you, build a relationship. So, Otherwise, I mean, like you said, that's game playing, and some people react very violently when they've been played. So,
well, just to clarify, Deborah's 90 days doesn't have anything to do with what Steve Harvey talked about. Let us just clarify that right now. When I said 90 days, I was talking about how long it usually takes for you to really get to know someone.
Right.
And if you guys remember, I was talking about that in reference to T. Smitty's thing about he knows if he wants someone to be his girlfriend in pretty much a month. And I said I usually thought it took guys about 3 months to make that decision. It had nothing to do with sex and holding out any cookies, cakes, or pie.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I knew that.
I just want to put that on record, so I don't want anybody to think that that's what I was talking about.
Right.
Yeah, stop holding on to my oatmeal raisin cookies, women. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I just threw that in. I just threw that one in.
Countdown again,
Deborah.
89 days ago.
That's right. Okay, you guys, I'm going to mute your mics. I got a new caller coming in. I want to see. I think it's a lady, so I'm going to bring her on. This 909, is this a male or female? I guess we'll find out soon enough. 909, your mic is open.
Hey.
Yay! Hey. It's a girl.
It's not. You know what? Tonight I've heard some great information. I think you guys are 100% on the money, because if a man really wants you, he'll tell you. Because the person I'm with now told me within a couple of weeks, like, I don't want you seeing anybody else. I'm not going to see anybody else. Is that cool? Everything was cool. 6 months later, we're engaged. So,
you are? When did that happen?
Yes. Christmas Eve. Hello. So I'm really excited about that. Hello?
Oh, I'm here.
Yeah. So I think if someone really wants to be with you, it's gonna happen. It's no need to like beat around the bush and do all this 90-day bullshit that people do and all this other crazy rules that people make up for other people. And I just don't understand ladies who are like, I'm gonna make him love me, make him be with me. You can't make another grown person do anything. If this man really wants to be with you, he's going to tell you. And if he doesn't, he's going to find every excuse not to be with you. When I was younger, I made that same mistake. I did the same exact thing. And I was so stupid, but guess what? We all get older and we all grow up. And I'm going to tell every girl out there who's like 18, 19, 20, whatever, if a guy wants to be with you, he's going to make it happen. You don't have to. That's it.
Exactly. And that's just like, women want to do all this chasing. Oh, I think he likes me, but he's afraid to ask me out. He's not afraid to ask you out. He doesn't want to go out with you.
He's just not that into you, right?
Exactly. He's not afraid. He's not that shy. He's just not interested. Because I've seen guys, even if they're shaking in their boots, sweat dripping down their forehead, if they want that woman, they will make it happen. He will just go and borrow some courage. But he will find a way to make it happen. So, and no woman would want anything less. Who wants to be dating some old punk person?
Exactly. I mean, I think we watch too much TV and we see all these so-called powerful women, like, hitting on men, all this other stuff, and it just doesn't translate into real life. Because on TV, this old Panther woman goes and gets the guy. Everything is cool. In real life, if you chase a man, he doesn't want you after that.
No. Yeah, I mean, it works out sometimes, but I'd say probably about maybe less than 5%. Like some guys are just so damaged, from a divorce or something like that. They're, not really feeling good about themselves, so they won't ask someone out. But if she's, friendly and, he enjoys time around her, then she says, oh, let's go here and let's do that. Then he'll do it, but it's not looked at as her asking him out because they already have a pre-established relationship. You see what I mean?
Right.
They've been buddies and friends, and it's just kind of bumping it up to the next level. Those kind have, I think, a higher chance for success than, a woman just asking a guy out to clear blue sky. Oh, let's go out. I got these 2 tickets. Let's go to dinner.
All I can say is that it never worked for me. And not for anybody else, either, because those type of situations tend to be like, oh, it's this girl. She's hot. She asked me out. I had sex with her, but you know what? I really don't like her all that much. And in my situation, or what I've seen, that's how it always works out. Women need to learn how to just chill out, kick back, whatever.
Tell it, girl. Tell it. Well, let me get these guys back on the phone and see what they have to say to your comment. So we got T. Smitty and we got Player Hater. Your mics are open. What do you guys think about what you just said? Do you agree?
No, well, yeah, I do agree with her. I appreciate that. Thanks, brother. What I was going to say is I agree with her because I believe in, again, natural relationships. I mean, you have to just let it flow, man. You just have to let it flow. If a woman is chasing a man, I mentioned it earlier, he's going to, let her do what she wants to do. He's going to get the sex and then he's going to bounce. Even if a relationship does develop, he doesn't respect you. He's not going to see you the way you want him to see you because you pursued him. It's an unbalanced relationship, and unbalanced relationships never work.
Yeah. And my thing is that when the sister was talking, it hit me for a second. You know how like a man leaves a woman, but like 6 months later he's married? It's like he's looking for that woman he could tie down with. It's something about that woman he broke up with ain't doing it for him. And I feel like that's one natural thing. Maybe she was chasing him or whatever like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay, let me open up Don's mic and see what he has to say. What's your 2 cents on that, Don?
I apologize. I was a little distracted multitasking. You have to skip me on that one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see what Rael has to say. Do you agree with her stance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm glad that she stood up and actually, said that.
I'm just so pleased. I just can't believe it. And she was trying to keep secrets, not even sending me a note to tell me she got engaged.
And what was her name?
I'm sorry.
What's her name? Who is she?
Deanna.
So, yeah, she's kind of a new regular that she calls in.
Okay. Is she with Blog Talk? Is she has a Blog Talk name or?
What's your Blog Talk screen name?
Disney Diva 21.
Oh, okay.
Oh, her.
Yeah. Her.
I'm about to crash in your wedding and let you know that.
Oh, if it's even in this country, maybe. Who knows?
Wow.
I got a passport. I'm in the military. The government fly me everywhere.
Okay, well, you know what? You are invited.
Well, I do expect to get my invitation.
Yeah, me too. All of us.
I don't know. I want to have to practice my crying. Let's see. Okay, does it look better from the left side or the right?
In Haiti, we have a saying that your magic is only as powerful as your money. If you guys want to come to the wedding, you guys are gonna have to help the happy couple foot the bill for the reception.
Put some of that food on the plate,
I was like Alan Roger Curry with some chicken wings.
Chicken? Okay.
Wings.
I don't know about chicken wings, but okay.
I'll buy one of those rotisserie chickens from Walmart and put it up there.
Oh.
Okay.
Let's just off that count. So thank you.
He also got to get that wine from the box too.
Oh God.
What?
Okay.
I'm playing around.
You know what?
I'm playing.
Well, I definitely want to say congratulations to you, Diva.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. We got one more caller from 678. Mm-hmm. Your mic is open. What's your question or comment? Uh-oh. The switchboard is acting up. Come on, thing.
This technical difficulty is brought to you by Boost Mobile.
There we go. 678. Your mic is finally open. What's your question?
One more lady.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Fine. What's your thoughts on what we've been talking about?
Well, you guys have such an interesting topic. I was just tuning into the show, and I have a situation here. Like I'm very young. I'm 21 years old, and I'm highly single. I have 2 businesses, and it's like I don't think I really would have time to dedicate any female. I actually hurt a couple females' feelings previously, and it wasn't on purpose. I just told him, look, I'm highly busy. I own a consulting business, and my phones are constantly ringing, and it's like I don't have time to dedicate, my time to you. I actually told her that, but she thought that I was, just talking stuff, but I was like, hey, I can't do it. So we just stopped talking. But here's the thing, I have this female from that I knew way back from elementary, and she stays in my area, my neighborhood, and it's like it's kind of like it's crazy, because like she was really, we had a major crush back in elementary, and now
in elementary school, did you say?
Yeah, elementary, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
wow, okay.
Yeah, but see, it's like I've been staying around, because I stay in Stone Mountain in Georgia. I've been staying around the area for a while, and she knew that I am in the area. She knows she sees me. And when she saw me, when she started to see me around the area, in the neighborhood, I didn't speak to her. I didn't show any interest. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a shy guy, you see what I'm saying? But at the same time, I didn't want to talk to her because, number one, my financial situation wasn't in order. I wasn't comfortable with myself.
Right.
And it's like, when I'm not comfortable with myself, it's like I'm putting a bad vibe out there, and that bad vibe will kill a potential relationship, whether it's sex, whether it's a girlfriend, I don't care. But I mean, she I don't know. I don't know if she's mad at me or what, but I'm the kind of guy.
Can I comment? Right.
Yeah. So we only got about 5 minutes, so let's see you guys give your analysis of what he just said.
Right. I mean, I'm almost in hate mode, but I'm trying to pull back because I want to respect your show. So I will pull back. As a matter of fact, I'll pull back. But what I will say is, if you don't feel comfortable about yourself, then you need to be by yourself. I mean, if you don't feel like you're at the point where you can approach a woman and you worry that she's going to be able to sniff out the fact that you are a little vulnerable at the time, then you need to just wait until you get some courage, and then you need to step to a woman. But I think you made the right decision in just staying by yourself and waiting until you got to the point where you felt comfortable with yourself. I think that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. Thanks. I have a lot
Thank
to learn.
Thank you, hater, for not being mean.
It was hard, trust me.
But you know what? I love that about you. Thank you so much. Because Duke can go off. I heard him. Okay, Don, what you got to say?
Yeah, if you're not comfortable with yourself, I mean, get that squared away first, because otherwise, if you're not comfortable with yourself, someone else can sense it, and if she's devious, she'll take advantage of it, and you really have nothing left by the time she's done with you as far as your ego and your self-worth. So yeah, get yourself, you gotta love yourself first. So take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're not gonna be of any good to someone else. And you cannot expect, just like a man doesn't want to be Captain Save-A-Ho, a woman does not want to be Captain Save-A-Swim. You know, this is not Build-A-Bear works good for toys, but Build-A-Nigga doesn't work for individuals. I'm sorry.
Gotcha. Okay, T. Smitty, what you got to say?
I just gonna say that to get yourself right first, because it's not fair to you and it's not fair to that woman if you're not right. Excuse me. That's probably all I have to say about that.
Okay.
I really appreciate
what about you, Rael?
I'd just like to say my quote: respecting yourself is knowing yourself in order to love yourself. So it's about knowing self. It's about respecting self. It's about just getting the respect that you need before you go out there. I mean, it's all above everything everybody else said, actually.
Okay. Well, you guys, if you got your questions answered, young man, got any other questions?
I really appreciate it. I'm a very humble guy, and I still got a lot to learn. So I'm going to be making a show soon, but it's not really dealing with relationship relationships to do with like finance, real estate, stuff like that. So,
Oh, excellent. Well, just drop a line. Let us know when it's on, and we all tune in. We try to support each other.
All right. And everybody, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank
Happy
you.
holiday. All right.
Well, I wanted to thank my panel, my surprise panel of guests that I had here tonight. I didn't expect to have so many great and thoughtful guys on the phone. Worked out wonderfully for me. So this concludes our discussion on what makes you a girlfriend, how you go about getting that title, what guys are looking for before they make that level of commitment to you, and what you as a woman can do to present yourself as the kind of woman that would be chosen to be a girlfriend / future wife. So congratulations, Tiana, Disney Diva, here on Blog Talk on her recent engagement, Don Calypso on his recent engagement. I like stories with a happy ending. That makes me smile.